Guys, welcome to ET Garage's latest episode. I am Dhruv Mohan with this simple one. It's the latest addition to the ever-growing two-wheeler EV market in India. As we can see the trends, the EV adoption in India is growing at an exponential rate. This means that a lot of players are entering the market with different and unique products. All of them are trying to take the piece of the pie. And as the consumers are getting more open to experimenting with these vehicles, it means that us, the consumers, are also winning. Simple One is the testament to that very fact. As we all know, that an EV is not just about the motor and the efficiency and the range, but also how you are able to interact with the vehicle. These things are essentially a computer on wheels. It's equivalent to what an EV car is like. And now Simple is doing the same. Let's start by understanding the design of the Simple One. It's aggressive as you would expect on a scooter of this nature. It is kind of what we are seeing in Ather and also what a lot of brands are doing with their more urban hip designs. Simple One has done it a bit more tastefully in my opinion. The scooter does look compact, but at the same time do have its own utilitarian features that you can't skip on when you're dealing in India. There are some misses which I'll tell you. But first, let's look at the styling altogether. As you can see up front, there is an LED headlamp which is quite bright. For that matter, if you're riding on the roads in the night, you'll not feel any issues. The white beam is also quite efficient in that way. There's only one Simple logo that I see on the scooter altogether, and there's one at the back. The quality of the plastic is also something that I'm thoroughly impressed by. It's not something that you generally see on e-vehicles or vehicles on a lower tier, that the quality of the plastic can be compromised sometimes, but here they have done a good job. Moving forward, a small but nice design element that I liked was the mirrors. More importantly, they can be adjusted ever so smoothly. It's something that I miss on my scooters as well. The buttons here are straightforward. If you have ridden a new gen vehicle, be it ICE or EV, these are the buttons that you are familiar with. All these buttons can be used to access the display, and they have worked seriously on the display. There are a lot of features that you can entertain with this display here. Simple also provides us with a connectivity app using which you can control it. The app gives you access and diagnosis of the entire scooter and can also help you track with it. Simple also lets you keep all sorts of important documentations inside the application, or for that matter inside the scooty as well. In this EV, a bit of a location change, but I do need to talk about the design at the back. As you can see, these are clear LEDs and they also look quite nice. Unlike a lot of ICE vehicles that we see, pocket spaces or perhaps storage spaces on this vehicle are not too many. Generally that we have observed, we do get multiple hooks on a scooter, but on this one we get only one, and for that matter it cannot take very heavy loads. It's not of the best of quality in my opinion. But if you open up the boot space, you have a fairly decent amount here which can store an entire full size helmet. I did put it inside and yes, it was handling it really well. Unless you keep this charger here, then the space is gone. So the best way perhaps to go about this particular EV is, if you are not carrying the charger, you're charging it overnight at your house. There's also a charging socket here using which you can charge up your devices. Again, I would have preferred if the location of this charging socket was somewhere around here, like we observe in scooties these days. Now, as far as the ride quality is concerned, I like the suspensions on this vehicle a lot. I've been driving it around, as you can see the space around me, I've been driving it around for about 20 kilometers, and so far I've not felt any spasm or any sort of an itch in my back, which is quite impressive. Overall, the ride quality is quite impressive, especially if you're a single rider. But if you do have a pillion, then you have to measure up your seat space because it is not that comfortable for two people. Again, the messaging is clear. The product has been developed in mind with people who are hip or perhaps younger audiences who do not really carry a luggage or anything like that. They are looking for a vehicle with which they can go to their office every day and do not have to worry about the fuel or anything like that. They can come back home and put it on charging. Talking about the range and battery size, I think the product of this nature, they have done a good job. The vehicle provides you with both stable performance at an eco mode and can also dash in a dash mode perhaps, or it can go really fast in a sonic mode. In each of these modes, the range keeps on changing. So far what I've observed is that the vehicle is not losing out on battery very quickly. Unless you put it on sonic mode, then the battery starts dropping drastically. So if you're somebody who's going to drive it every day to and fro from work, maybe you should look into the range specifically and go on sonic only and only if it's necessary. But otherwise, eco mode is fast enough for you. It will not give you the thrill, but it will give you the range and save you from the tension of range anxiety. Now let me give you the rating for the simple one from ET Garage. For the design, I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. I really like how they have designed it. It's compact and yet it does give you enough space in the boot to keep a full-size helmet. What I do not like is the fact that there is not enough storage spaces right up front. And optimization, I'm going to give it a solid 4 on 5 because I like the application. It helps you track the vehicle as well. It gives you a complete diagnosis of the vehicle. It's one of the best applications that I've seen so far. For the range and drivability, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think that this vehicle rides really well. You have complete control over it. It's lightweight. You can carry it around easily, you can take it anywhere you want. But yes, the range anxiety is going to be there if you're planning to take it a little farther away, or perhaps if you're somebody who's a bit lazy and do not like charging their vehicles every day. So that's something that you have to be mindful about. If you're considering an EV or you're considering an EV transition, then the simple one can definitely be a choice for you. You should definitely go and check it out, given the fact that they will be providing service networks everywhere across their showrooms, and that does add a sense of reliability on them. And make sure to follow our channel.